Today on Nova Legends podcast, I have my esteemed panel of Northern Virginia high school basketball coaches back for a new year. It's been a while, guys. Great to see you guys. Thanks for joining me.
Appreciate you having us.
Thanks for having us.
Great to be back. Good to see everybody.
Yes, sir.
Back in school. This is some of us are, I think, more than 20 years coaching now, but we're not going to talk about that. Let me reintroduce everybody. I got David Howson, West Potomac. He played at West Springfield. I got Tony Bentley. He played at Washington, and back then Washington Lee, coaches at Wakefield for many, many years. I got Sherman Rivers, played at Potomac, been coaching at Patriot for the last, eight years now, Coach?
Yeah, this will be my ninth. Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. Then I got Coach Kevin Harris. Kevin played at, I think, Herndon and Falls Church, right, Coach?
Yep.
Took Centerville to the state championship. Now he's at Westfield. Coach Doug Craig, coach, I think he's from Pennsylvania, but been coaching Woodson for, I think, 2005, Coach. I got Coach Carlos Poindexter. Carlos played at Hayfield, played on that. I think, Carlos, you went to state as a player and been coaching there for the last, which is about 10 years now, Coach?
Yeah, 11, 12, something like that.
Who's counting? Well, guys, I wanted to address something briefly. And again, I know you guys are Fairfax County employees. Coach Bentley's not, but and Coach Rivers is not. But obviously, this is something you don't want to comment on. More than understandable. I did want to talk a little bit about the Coach Overton situation in Hayfield. Obviously, Coach Overton won back-to-back state titles at Freedom and Woodbridge. Played at Hilton and moved to Hayfield in the offseason. And there was an article written in a news report, a newspaper I never heard of, online paper I never heard of, Fairfax County Times, and brought the transfers to our attention. And then Fox News reported on it as well. In the meantime, Fairfax County Times made like 5 or 6 articles. They started going all kinds of different directions, private trainers and business licenses. It got a little uncomfortable to watch because when you watch one person get attacked like this, I'm an attorney. You never like to see that, but I always feel like the media can take down anybody if they want to. So I just felt like it kind of got out of control. If they would have written an article about transfers and let their investigation go, that would have been, to me, fair game. But it kept going on and on. And even my mother was asking me about it. She said, "Did you hear about the league coach?" I'm like, "Mom, it's Lewis, but it's actually Hayfield." And yeah, how did you hear about it? She said, "Oh, Carolyn from Bridge told me about it." I was like, "Well, how did she hear about it?" Her son's a teacher. My mom hasn't been to a high school football game since Chris Warren played. So I was just like, I mean, this is like the talk of the town. Anyway, guys, I know Hayfield's had some scrimmages. It's been going well. I know Coach Carlos obviously is in the building and knows Coach Overton well. There was a tweet the other day as they're going to have some kind of town hall at the school this week. I just wanted was there any comment that, any comment on what I said? Did you guys feel like maybe the investigation, these news reports went a little too far, or what were you guys' opinion about what was going on with the investigation and all the reports? Carlos, you want to go first since you're in Hayfield?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like the weekly attacks or different articles that they were doing was unnecessary, uncalled for. I just feel like, they put out the initial article. I think they should have just kept it at that and let Fairfax County and VHSL do their due diligence to make sure everything was legit or whatever have you. But we here now. We about 4 or 5 days away from playing versus West Springfield. At least to this date, as of today, everything is still on the up and up. I've heard nothing but good things about what's going on. And the superintendent's coming to speak on Tuesday, so looking forward to hear what she says and the findings that she has about the program, about our school in general. But according to our AD, everything's looking good. So I'm just looking forward to moving on from all of this and getting to these guys playing football, because it's going to be a special year for these guys.
Yeah, let's get the football started. Anyone else? I know, Sherman, you always have something to say on these kind of things, and I know you know Overton really well.
I mean, listen, outside of all the things that we could say about it, I think it was one of the worst examples of journalistic integrity that I think I've ever seen, from an article from somebody that I personally know, and just being in the know of some of the stuff that's going on. I mean, it was a poorly written article. It didn't have any viable sources. It didn't tell the other side. It didn't get any interviews from the other side. I just, we're in a day and age where people can just say whatever they want with no sort of repercussions, obviously due to a lot of the social media stuff, and just, they're like, oh, my bad. That might not have been true. And the amount of articles that we got about it was insane. I mean, it got to the point that it got into a USA Today sort of thing. And I'm like, I can't see how this is that important, especially for something that was this poorly written and presented to everybody in the first place. I just don't see how it happened, but I mean, I'm saying I don't see how it happened. I know how it happens, but I'm not going to get into that this evening.
You're down there in Prince William County, so you're clear here.
Sure. I'd say it even if I was out there. Y'all know how I go.
Anybody else want to jump in here, or I'm gonna throw a live grenade to you guys if you guys want to catch it. Yeah.
I mean, I think we all know that rumors, that's just not cool. We've all probably been a part of something that somebody said something that wasn't true. I mean, I'm not too far, my school, we're not too far away. We got kids that are at Hayfield that take classes at our school, academy classes, and then, vice versa. And so I've heard the stuff I've heard, I don't believe are from viable sources. I've heard a lot of different things, but I wouldn't say the sources I've heard them from are reliable. I wouldn't say that they are frontline people that know exactly what's going on both sides, but they are loudly talking and on a regular basis and telling people stuff. So I guess I don't have enough information. So, like on the Shark Tank, I'm out.
Yeah, the stuff about the bullying, and they said that one person got to school and he asked where the women are, which is they use a kind of inappropriate word for that. To me, it was kind of playing on racial tropes a little bit, which I didn't think they needed to do. I thought if these guys don't live in the district, that's gonna come out eventually. I thought it went places that it just didn't really need to go, and I frankly I didn't feel very comfortable with the whole thing. As you guys have said. Anyone else want to jump in here, or are you guys going to leave this one alone?
I just say, I hope after Tuesday, once they, once the superintendent comes and speaks, I just hope that, it'll be done with, and then we just move on. But hopefully that same article, or whoever wrote those articles, will write a good one about what Dr. Boyce is going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, don't lose
not,
sleep.
But like I said, hopefully all the nonsense gets to the point where we just stop hearing about that, and those coaches and those kids can just worry about playing football and not defend themselves from insane accusations.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, let's go on to transfers in basketball. It's been a crazy summer for basketball transfers. I mean, we heard Chris Bivens going from Alexandria to O'Connell. That would surprise nobody. Obviously a tremendous talent and prospect, and for him to go to O'Connell's is something that's not going to surprise anybody. But I think the thing that got me this summer is I heard so many people transfer to small schools or schools I probably have never heard of until this year or maybe last year for the first time. That was kind of new for me. It's one thing to transfer to O'Connell, to Paul VI, or kind of a transfer where you've kind of earned the right to at least try the next level. But the transfers this summer, a lot of them were going to schools I didn't even I've never heard of. How about you guys? Anyone want to make comments on some of the types of transfers we're seeing this summer?
I mean, it's one of those things that, I was saying this, I can't remember if it was this summer or the summer before, that there was a point, I want to say it was probably around, right when the kind of private school stuff started jumping off, maybe a little bit, because I was gone maybe around that point. But I just remember thinking, like, whenever you saw a private school or you played one, you're like, man, that's a private school. And now you see a private school playing, you're like, those kids go to private school? Like, it's just a different sort of thing. And I feel like it's a new one that sprouts up all over the place. And these kids like, well, I'm going to go here and I'm going to reclass. And it's just the same thing that we keep talking about. Everything isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know. I like the transfers and stuff. I don't think it's been any crazier than what it's been. I think it's kind of every summer it's kind of been this way, and people moving around and shuffling them. It's to the point that the DMV Elite .com puts out a transfer list every summer. Like that's a thing. It's a real thing that you have to see where they were last year and where they are now. And like you said, the domino effect of stuff, the Bivens kid going to O'Connell means that the kid that was there is now at Potomac. So everything just kind of happens in sort of a domino effect sort of situation.
Is that Potomac private or Potomac public?
No, Potomac High School.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Anyone else want to jump in about the types of transfers that we're hearing? Yeah.
Just amazing the lack of research. I think we said it a couple of years ago, actually, with podcast. A couple of years ago, we were talking about the lack of research that I think people are doing to look at some of these schools. I mean, there was local schools that we never heard of that kids were going to. That's not new. Unfortunately, it's not new. But I think the trickle down effect of the transfer portal at the college level and almost like the glorification of it. It's like, it's a real thing. I saw some tweets about kids that was transferring AAU teams, and like that was like a tweet, so there, that seems like that's a cool thing to do, get the hype for a little bit. So it's not changing.
Coach Bentley, I know you've been around the block. You've seen some kids leave, Coach Harris. The transfers that we're seeing, you guys think this is normal stuff? Anything to worry about, or you just keep moving with what the players that you have and the players that want to play in the public schools, we just embrace them and move forward?
That's been my motto forever. I mean, kids come to your school, you coach them. They go to other places, you wish them luck. I mean, it's the only thing you can do. I mean, we are a public school. We don't pay kids to come to our school. We don't recruit kids to come to our school. They show up on, it used to be September 7th or whatever. Now it's earlier. When they show up, they come to an open gym and workout. We love them as a warrior. But if they decide to leave and transfer, the only thing I can say to the kids is good luck to you, because that road is not for everybody, and then it is for some people. So I don't pay attention to it, man. Just good luck. I'm gonna coach the 15 guys I got in November, and we're gonna move forward.
Yeah. Coach Harris, you agree with that? Just kind of.
Yeah, I agree with Coach Bentley. I mean, honestly, transferring isn't anything new. I think nowadays social media is more glorified, and people make a big deal about it. But your coach is there November 11th, the trial date, and go from there.
Yeah, Coach Harris, as a parent of a kid who transferred and it was a good move for him. He ended up at Duke.
He never transferred.
He didn't transfer.
No,
I mean, he didn't transfer, but he
never transferred.
Yeah. He was where he belonged right away. Obviously, you see both sides of it. Are these situations that the kids make? Elite players make. Are these always tough decisions, or do you think it should be easy? When the kid is good enough, he kind of plays his way to those schools.
I mean, there were times where my son kind of didn't wish he was playing at Westfield, but he wanted to be with his friends and like the guys he grew up with. But at the end of the day, his goal was to go to Duke. It wasn't to win a championship at Westfield or Centerville at that point when I was at Centerville.
Yeah.
For any kid, the best situation for you is where you can maximize your potential. And it's a tough line when you get in 8th grade and you're making a decision for something for the next 4 years. But I mean, you got to go with your gut and trust your resources at that point. I mean, at that point, by 8th grade, you should know where you belong, where you fit in.
Exactly.
Some kids are, getting bad information from people.
I was just about to say that your son wasn't getting terrible information.
He was, but it was from me.
Not from the people that mattered. Right. Not from the people that mattered.
Right.
So that's the part that's upsetting. It's not that kids go to another school or never end up. I was so funny. I was just in IHOP yesterday morning with my family, and Isaiah Abraham comes in with his family, right? And Isaiah Abraham is a kid that was supposed to go to Patriot High School.
Yeah.
but I never saw him, so I don't know what I missed out on. Really,
You saw him at IHOP. He was like, oh, wow.
I mean, listen, clearly he's going to UConn, but and
Yeah.
now he's got a sister who did it the other way. She went to Gainesville for a couple of years, but now she's going to Paul VI.
Right.
So, but I know that they're getting good advice. Obviously, their dad playing at Marquette and gone through what he's gone through. And, it's not something where they're just making a fly-by-the-night decision where you see a lot of kids just like, well, I'm not getting this opportunity. I'm going to go to this school. So you're not even good enough to go there. Or
key statement Kevin made was trust your resources. You got to define resources. And so you guys just gave a couple of examples of solid resources, right? Like
right.
A dad who played at a high level, two different dads you gave examples of who played at a high level. But the quote resources, I mean, that's anybody, that's somebody that was a preschool teacher who now, does some training on the side and told somebody to do some stuff. So I think that's the key that people really need to, that was a good statement there. Yeah, trust, get this and then trust your resources. And I believe in that, but you need to people need to research who those resources really are and what do they have invested in it and, what's their background, what's their history. I just don't think that's the thing that people are really doing. And, these are kids, kids moving kids around. There's the whole social part of it as well, and mental part of it as well. It's it's not just moving a pawn piece around a chessboard. So,
and like I said, it's not always the
works out
answer.
for some others.
It's not always the answer for every kid. It's right. The adversity sometimes is what you need to go through to what's going to actually make you the player you want to be. But then you got kids that go to 3 different high schools just to go play. I'm saying this as an example, or at a Shenandoah. Why? Why did you go to so many different places just to go to school there? Not saying that that's not a good conference and a good level, but you could have did that staying right where you were at. And you spent all that money just to go spend more money. It makes no sense to me. So, for some kids don't even end up playing.
Right here with house led, I think that a lot of it's the parents. I mean, who you trust as your resources makes a big difference. I mean, like you said, it could be someone who has no experience in the game or doesn't know what high-level basketball is, and they're trying to make come off your kid. I mean, that's someone you can't trust. There's people who have personal agendas in this game. We all know that. I mean, being coaches, their parents want the best for their kid, and then their camp wants the best for their kid. So it's you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. But at the end of the day, you either have to stick with your decision or, make moves after that. And that's where we see a lot of kids jumping schools now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sherman, you said, they go to private schools or to pay all this money and still pay all the money when they go to college. This kids are transferring from public school to public school.
Yeah.
That because they're unhappy with whatever the situation may be, because they're being pushed and wanting the best for them, but don't want it. And they want the easy way. So go to another public school so they can get more shots or whatever it may be. And to those kids, I say, good luck to you. Because like you said, you're probably going to get the exact same thing that you could have got at the school you originally started from.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I wish there was a way to do research to see if the kids that move around are any more successful than the kids that stay.
Now, let me say this.
There's a way.
There's a way. It's too coded, though.
Right. Let me say this, because we're talking about the situations that don't work, and that's not fair. Because there are situations where it's a better situation for the kid.
Yeah.
And I had a situation like that a couple of years ago with Chase Nelson. Chase Nelson wasn't going to play for us. He wasn't doing the things that we needed him to do, and he'll tell you that if you ask him. But he plays his senior year at over there with the Purple School. He has a really good year. They end up going to the state championship game really because of how well he played in the state tournament, because he went down to Richmond and had 20-something, maybe 30, and then played well against us in the semifinal. And ends up going to Massanutten Prep School, and now he's a Division II basketball player. But like I said, I don't mind it if it's something where coaches just feel like it's going to be a better situation for me. I'm not ever mad at a kid for going. Hey, listen, you feel that's better for you? Good. Go. Let me know what I can do to help you. That kid still comes back and shoots in our gym and comes and plays with our guys like he graduated from there, because I didn't make it weird for him to try to make a hard decision. So there are situations where it makes sense, but you hate to see it when the kids are getting bad advice and just hopping around for the sake of hopping around.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think so. And you are seeing more kids, coaching Prince William County. It seems like Gainesville and Battlefield, I always hear that, or even Osborne Park. It seems like those boundaries are a lot more fluid than they are in Fairfax County. Kids they seem to go all over there. And maybe they can find a better fit at a different school.
You said if it works out better for you, good. I just don't make a decision that's going to be one that you're going to regret. That's how I look at it. But it's a better situation, the better situation.
Someone else was trying to jump in here. Yeah, I was, I think with the problem with all the transfers and the parents now is what I'm seeing, and I see this in soccer as well as basketball because I follow closely. I just don't see a lot of kids who are playing at the next level. So I feel like you're doing a lot on the high school level. You're going to private school, you're switching public schools, and then they get to the private school and I mean they finish high school and there's really no opportunity for them in college. It is so hard to get on a roster, and we've talked about this before, and maybe it'll get a little bit easier now that the COVID year, I think it ends this year, so that it'll be a little bit easier. You don't have the oldest kids won't be there anymore. But I just feel like the kids are moving around, and I don't even know what the payoff is anymore. You might as well go somewhere and play and have some fun, and not worry about college. And I know that sounds like kind of a defeatist attitude, but I still think if you go somewhere and have some fun and it goes well, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're a college basketball player now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And everybody can't play college basketball. It's just what it is. And that's why you have so many AAU teams now. Everybody's, I need to get my exposure. Like, you're not going to play. Like, I don't know why everybody thinks that, or why people won't tell some of these kids the truth. Like, hey, listen, there are those stories, and those stories, as inspiring as they are terrible for the person you don't want it to inspire, because they can't jump, they can't shoot, they can't dribble. But coach, I'm a bet on myself. Okay, cool. Let's see how this works out for you. Like, everybody can't play. And like, it's not that we have less kids going to play. It's that there's more kids that think that they can. So that's what we're seeing. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I agree
guys
with that.
are supposed to go play or going to play.
Yeah, I agree, Sherman. I don't think we have less kids playing. I think that it was more kids promoting that they are playing, but then they're just not really. Like, there just really wasn't that platform for every kid to be like, I'm blessed to get an offer, or I'm blessed to, I mean, everybody wasn't doing that before. So now you legitimately have 7 guys on one high school team saying they're blessed to get an offer. So it seems like, well, 7 guys are going to get a scholarship. I mean,
No,
and 7 guys
they're
aren't
not telling the
getting
truth anyway.
so.
They lying anyway. Like, they didn't get anything, and everybody's got a mixtape now. Like, that's another thing. Like, how all y'all got highlights? Well, I got to see a highlight of you working out when you ain't playing anywhere. I don't know why. Why are we seeing this? Why are you still working out so hard when you know you're not going to play anywhere? But I'm being mean now. Let me stop.
Well, you're a mean person, sure.
I mean, it's just because it's ridiculous, man. Like, everybody really thinks that this is just for them, and it makes me mad as a person that did it. That it's so hard to do.
It really is.
It's
so
insulting.
hard to do.
It's insulting to coaches or anybody. It doesn't have to be a coach. It's insulting to people that went through the process.
Yes.
The grind through is thousands of however you had to do to then just have somebody just say they can do the same thing. It really is, and it's really insulting as coaches that we're telling these parents our experiences and then individual personal experiences as well as experiences as coaching different kids for dozens of years to go through this, and they're looking at us like, yeah, you don't really know what you're talking about. It's like, I mean, you couldn't get better sources for where you're trying to go than the people that you have on the sidelines, yet that's not your main resource that you're going to. So in the end, yeah, we wish everybody well. But like when you go to the AAU big circuits, I mean, there's thousands of kids in this gym for possible 50 scholarships.
Mm.
So how is every team got scholarship kid? Every AAU team got 2-3 scholarship kids. It's just fake news. It's not real. And unfortunately, people are falling for the banana in the tailpipe still, and they're gonna see it later down the line. And it's too
That's a
bad.
fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Coach Halson, what do you do when you have a parent ask you if his kid can play college basketball and you're afraid if you tell him the truth, the parent will hold it against you, or, are you able to level with these parents and tell them where their kids belong, or are there ramifications if you're truthful?
I think that could be my fatal flaw, is that I try to be truthful. And so I have honest conversations. I have meetings with parents, and we have honest conversations about every single level, that there are different levels to this. So you want to say you want to play college ball, there's levels. There is a Division II, there's Division III, there's NAIA, there's JUCO, there's prep school, there's lots of different levels. So I have conversations with them about where I believe. I ask them where they think. I certainly had a person that told me they wanted to go to Carolina, and the kid was a junior, and I was like, you don't call Carolina your 11th grade year. That's just not how the process works. Like they've seen you since you were 6th graders. That's not how it works. So we were, that far away, but for the, most part, you try to kind of get as close as you can. But again, when I said, I'm a resource, but once they leave my gym or leave my office or whatever, they got a lot more voices coming in their ear, and some of them cook their dinner at night, and make their, buy their clothes. So that's a louder voice, unfortunately, than, the conversation I'm having. But I have these conversations with the parent in the meeting. So, they leave and either think, I'm full of it, or, I'm trying to be honest and truthful with them, which is what I think I'm trying to be.
Yeah. How about anyone else? Anyone else? Have you been burned by telling parents the truth?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
How
How about that?
Coach Craig, how about you? Have you been burned by telling coaches the truth?
I won't say I've been
parents
burnt. I think what we're seeing a little bit is well, it's a learned behavior, and I think kids when they're young, they move around a lot. They switch teams in 4th grade and 5th grade and 6th grade if they're not getting the shots they want or they're not playing the position they want. And I think what we're seeing now is it's a bit of a learned behavior, that if they're not completely happy, where back when we played, we would have been taught, hey, you got to fight through, you got to compete with the upperclassmen and beat them out. I think now it's easier to move. I think they bounce from team to team for that reason. I think they bounce because they like being recruited. I think kids like being recruited. I think kids and parents love being told how great their kid is, and we can do this, this, and this for your kid. I mean, we got kids transferring to places that aren't even real schools, and they're taking online classes in a room, and they're taking all their classes online. They're not being taught to fight through anything that's difficult. It's immediate gratification. It's microwave generation, whatever you want to call it. And I think we're starting to see the result of kids that have learned and parents who like being recruited. I think you see it at the highest levels of basketball in the NBA. Guys like being recruited. Guys like to go on the tour and have their free agency and move around. And I think parents like it too. I think parents like it when coaches and AAU trainers and AAU coaches and personal trainers all tell them, "Oh, I can do this, this, and this for your kid." And
I definitely agree with that. I think it's more so
I think it's a
parents and
learned.
children.
I just think it's become so common now, and I think too. Like I've seen too, like from our program, when we've had kids transfer, it becomes the cool thing then to do. So if one kid leaves, then 2 or 3 other kids want to leave because they see their friend leave and they want to go somewhere else, and they like the idea of they want to put out their tweet and say, "I'm blessed to be going. This is where I'm going this year." I mean, we're seeing kids. I'm seeing middle schoolers, right? Oh, I'm transferring and I'm going to this private school this year. They're 7th grade and they want to put that tweet out so they can get likes and get response from people that they don't even know online. Not necessarily listening to the people who have their best interest at heart. Um, but I think, I think this is the new culture we're seeing with young people. It's not always a bad thing, but I think that there's a lack of patience to work through difficult situations, which at some point in your life you're going to have to do, right?
Yeah. I think it makes people, that's a great point, Coach, but I think it makes people more ambitious because, when I played in high school, Yeah, I went to Robinson. I didn't have a lot of options. No one wanted me to play anywhere else. And you get a pecking order at your school, and you know where you belong, and whether you can play in college or not, it's evident. But I think now everyone's trying to get someone to tell them something new to be recruited, and maybe it changes the way how ambitious we are about the basketball. Maybe we
I
have
mean,
more
I agree with that. I know everybody thinks that when you're good, that obviously you're doing things you shouldn't be doing. But one thing that I always say is that I don't ever want to recruit any kids because I don't want them thinking I owe them anything, and I definitely don't want their parents thinking I owe them anything. So I don't understand why people put themselves in a situation where you've made a promise to somebody, try to get them on your roster, and then going to turn around and be angry at them for being mad at you for trying to not do that. Of course they're mad. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that, like, that's the part that, deters me from doing it anytime. I had a parent text me this summer. I don't even know who they are. Said, I got your number, and I'm not even going to mention who it is because I don't care for that person. I got your number from this person. They said it'd be good for me to reach out and thinking about having my son. I'm like, who are you? I said, did you call me thinking I was going to sell my program to you? I said, listen, let me know if your kid is registered to go to Patriot High School, and I'll see him in August. But please don't ever call me like this again. It's like insane. It's like, what do you think I'm going to do? Like, the bad part is I couldn't tell you who the parent or the kid was. No idea. I don't
He was
know
6'11". He was 6'11", Coach.
No, listen, he wasn't 6'11" because it might have been a different conversation, but but still, it's like, why do you think that I'm going to sell something to you? Like, this person talking about, can we come by a workout? I said, no. I said, absolutely not. Like, are you insane? And it's not just on my end, because I had a kid who left our school that their parent did the same thing, and parents think that none of us talk to each other. So when those coaches let me know that parent had emailed them asking if they could come to their gym to see if they could, what school they wanted to go to, all of a sudden that parent's like, oh, listen, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Like, because as much as we want to be mad at these kids, it's the grown-ups.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think we're agreeing here, guys. So let's wants to wrap that up. I want to move on to you guys as teams. Give you a chance to talk about your summers. First of all, tell us about where your seniors from last year are going. Any of them playing at the next level, and then just tell us a little bit about your summer and what you're looking at going into the year. Why don't we start with Coach Bentley?
Last year's seniors, two seniors go off and play college basketball. One, Carlton Young, is at Augusta State with old Dip Metris down there. So he's down there looking good. Lost a lot of weight, staying in shape. He's looking really good. We talk, weekly. He's doing really well. And then Miles Hancock is at Virginia Wesleyan. He just checked into school today. He's loving it. They went down. Coach Macedo always does a great job, and he has those kids come down in the summertime to work his camps so they can all learn how to bond together as a team and a unit. So Miles is, really liking the atmosphere and everything that's going on down there. So those guys are off, and happy that they are going to be starting their new journeys.
Awesome. It's beautiful down there, Virginia Wesleyan. It's a nice campus.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And your summer was good, Coach?
You want to talk about me? Because I'm at that age right now. My summer was great. So, all this, look, I'm getting a little bit older now, and my summer was great.
You're still 10 years younger than me, Coach.
I'm going to learn. Get on this podcast every year and say my summer was great. I've learned that. And hopefully my fellows on here will learn the same thing too, to enjoy your summer, because we just talked about, at the end of the day, you can talk about all these transfers and all this and all that, man. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
You better love your family. So that's all I'm just trying to tell you. My summer was great. So if you want to talk about what Wakefield did, we played in the Fairfax/Marshall/Hammer Zone summer league that we play in, and had a great time over there. We got better. Kids worked their tails off. What happens tomorrow, Arlington County starts school tomorrow. Yeah. So whoever walks through that door and they're registered at Wakefield, then I'll start to be able to tell you what my team looks like. Because right now, I don't have a team. So we'll just be getting ready for tomorrow's first day of school. And then when we get back on this podcast in a couple weeks or a month, I'll let you know how Wakefield's doing.
I saw the picture of you and Buck in your referee outfit. I heard you guys were
We did that
thinking
for
about
middle school. Yeah, we do
joining
that.
Cardinal, maybe doing some
Yeah.
reps this summer. But when I talk to the girls coaches, they're the same way. They don't do a lot of summer leagues and fall leagues. They get away from it because I guess their AAU programs are very intense on the girls' side. So most of them don't mess with it as much as the boys on the boys' side. How about you, Coach Poindexter? How was your summer and your boys from last year? I know you had Pottinger's going down to Mary Washington, which sounds like a great fit for him. And I know you have other kids there as well. But what about the other kids from last year, and what about this summer?
Yeah, only had 2 that's going to college to play basketball. All of them are going to college. We had 7 seniors. The other one is Andy Ramirez. He's going to Richard Bland Junior College. So Andy and Owen are the 2 that's continuing on to go play college basketball. Mm-hmm. And then and as far as summer, I mean, we do what we always do: just go play some games, try to get better, and see how we're going to look in this upcoming year. I've been, as year in, year out, especially as of late, we always have been fortunate enough to be on the receiving end of some of these transfers that y'all been talking about. So I got a kid named actually Coach Carmichael. You know Coach Carmichael from Chantilly? His son basically transferred to Hayfield. So I got him, which has been a pleasant surprise. On Saturday was our first time being in the gym, and that's my first time really getting a chance to see him play. And he's real solid. I think he's actually going to help us a lot this upcoming year. We have 4 returning main players. Aaron, Alex, the brothers. You got Parker and Jalen Lemon. Like, those are our 4 seniors. And then we lost Phoenix. He's a guy that transferred out. Wish him the best, like everybody be saying. And I got another kid named Landon Judy, who was a sophomore on varsity, and he's been coming into his own a lot lately. So I'm looking forward to see how he's going to progress over the fall. And then we got some football kids that hopefully would try out when it's time. And looking forward to see how those guys look.
Hey, Coach, Kenny Judy, is he a second generation player? Is his dad?
Landon Judy.
I mean, I'm sorry. Is that Kenny Judy's son?
Nah.
Is that okay? Because I know he had a son who played ball, and I know he's stayed in the area. Now, Coach Poindexter, last year, I thought your team was one of the best passing teams in the area last year. I thought you had a real good chemistry. Do you see more of that? Do you hope to see more of that this season? Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I think we got the same team for the most part. We're just missing Owen and Andy. But I feel like the four guys that's returning, they're gonna lead us in almost every statistical category. So got a good nucleus coming back. We're not gonna be as deep as we've been. Last year we played 10 people. This year we might play 6. So but more playing time for them, more stats for them, and yeah,
exactly. Well, thanks, Coach. Well, Coach Kevin, Coach Harris,
some college love.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Coach, I went to your games. I saw you play Yorktown last year. One of the best games I saw all year. I think a double overtime, just a crazy game. You had lots of very young talent last year. You had some size. How'd you guys? Any of those kids? I don't think you had that many kids graduate. But how'd your summer go? And what are you looking at for this year?
We're bringing back 4 starters. Our summer went pretty good. We played in the same Hammer Zone Summer League that Los and them played in. And we went to the NC State for team camp. So it was good for our guys to get together, kind of get out the area, play some different teams. Our sophomores are now juniors. They're more mature. We get some leaders emerging from that group. We have some young guys that are good too. So
yeah, you boys. I thought you had some really good outside shooters last year as well. And I believe they were young, Coach.
Yeah, most of our guys were sophomores last year.
Yeah. So what's NC State like as a team? I haven't heard of that team camp. Is that a nice environment?
It's great. It's great.
Best team camp around.
Best team camp around. Yeah, seriously, it is.
Yep.
Yeah. You get to understand if it's the dorm
around. That's not around.
Hey man, I'm in Durham too, so NC State that's too far.
Yeah.
But it's great, man. The kids get to play a ton of games. They get to eat the college food, live the college life, and get away from home, which is more important for me. Is like get them away from home and really bond as a team.
Yeah. One of the most memorable weeks of my life was going to team camp at UVA when I was in school. It was just amazing. And that was when I decided I wanted to go to school there. But I met people there that I still talk to today. Richard Morgan played for UVA, and Herbie Brooks, legend for West Virginia. And it was just an amazing week to be with my teammates and just to play ball and talk trash, play cards, and kind of do those kind of things together. It was a really great experience.
Some of my former players from Center are actually on my staff this year, and that's one of the things they talked about was team camp, like how they love that and how they look forward to going to college to live that life. So we're gonna do it every year.
I would recommend that to anybody. Go to team camp. Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach. Coach Craig, how about you? I know last year you had some senior big guys, but you had a freshman point guard that is extremely promising. I can't pull the name. But I know those big guys are both playing Division III, I believe. How'd your summer go, and what are you looking for this towards for this year?
Yeah, Sean Donovan's at Franklin Marshall College up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He left a couple days ago, and then his twin brother Bryce leaves Wednesday for Dickinson College up in Carlisle. And I do want to shout out, I do have another senior playing a college sport, but not basketball. Ethan Conklin, who was on our varsity for 3 years, is playing college baseball at Franklin Marshall. So he left also earlier this week. So another great thing about public school basketball is you get kids that play multiple sports, and you get a chance to have some kids in your program that are good athletes and play other things. So all three of those guys and all 6 seniors we had last year are off to college. There's one at Vermont, one at West Virginia, and then another one down at South Carolina. So they're all off on their merry way, as we say. This summer we had a good summer. We played in the Hammer Zone Summer League. We played actually had 2 summer league teams. We had that one, and we had a team play up at DeMatha Summer League. Both we had mixed results over Fairfax. It's kind of a tough league. A lot of our younger guys playing over there, and then our team up at DeMatha, our older guys did very well. They won the first 9 games and finished 9-1. We lost in the quarterfinals of the summer league. I think we were basically one of the last 6 teams playing, the last 8 teams playing. But I'll say we were the last quarterfinal game, so we were one of the final 5. That's what I'll say. But we had a good summer up there. We played in a couple of live period events one at the St. James, which I think a lot of coaches here had their teams playing, and then we played up in Philadelphia at Philly Live too. Where we played a really good team, 3 really good games up there. So our kids have been playing. A lot of guys play AU as well. So it was a busy summer. Trying to get everybody where they need to be. We had a good summer. We're looking forward to this year. Got a lot of returning guys. So we're going to be probably as experienced as we've been in a long time coming back next year. We're kind of anticipating being able to, for the first time, it's like you're going to go to the first practice or the first green day, and like you're going to call out a drill, and you're not going to have like 9 guys looking at you like, what are we doing? Yeah. It's going to be nice having like 9 guys that are like, oh, okay, I know what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and do this. So it'll be nice to have a little different experience. But just busy in the summertime. Just guys going everywhere here and there. Got a bunch of guys taking college visits, some recruiting visits this like late August, early September. So I know we're going to be over at Tony Bentley's fall league here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll have most of our guys there most of the time. But if not, we got enough guys that want to play and giving guys chances to get better.
Tony might be at the beach. He's getting up. He's getting up there, and I don't think.
Listen, when you're making that Arlington County money, you can afford to go to the beach. I tell you.
So Coach, Coach Craig, you're going to have a very different team this year. Your team was a throwback.
Yeah.
Last year, when you have 2, 6, 7 post players, you don't see that. Well, they're not really post players, but 2, 6, 7 players with big bodies like that. You don't see that very much in today's game on a team. You think your team will be more of a traditional type of 2024 high school team this year?
We went from like the biggest team in Northern Virginia to like the smallest team within one graduating class. So we kind of like we went from featuring like big kids. We had a lot of size last year to like being a team that kind of features their guards now. So I got a lot of experience in the backcourt now coming back, and Theo Burke's a 3-year varsity starter, and
Great kid.
Noah Limbago is a 3-year varsity player. We have a group of 4 seniors this year who have been in our rotation on the varsity since they were sophomores. So we've been kind of like pushing. Like this has been kind of the year we've been targeting to be pretty good. And then obviously we started a freshman last year, Galen Chilton, who will have a larger role. He had a really good summer. He played really well at the math, averaged over 23 points a game, and played really, really well up there, made the All-Star game. And so we're anticipating big things from him. But we have, obviously a very experienced group coming back. We're excited. But yeah, we'll play a much different style. I mean, I think we'll be faster. We'll probably score more points than we've done. I think defensively, we're going to have to figure some things out. Last year, when you have 2, 6, 7 guys standing there in the paint, these high school kids have a hard time finishing in there. So we'll have to do it a little bit more creatively on the defensive end. But I think offensively, we should be able to score some points.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach. Well, Coach Sherman,
Sound like preseason number 1 to me.
what's that?
I said it sound like preseason number 1 to me.
Yeah, let's put the pressure on Coach Craig.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. The
Nobody-
guy who's been to the state tournament 6 straight years. Somebody else
No-
preseason number 1.
No one's going to come within 30 points, Coach Craig, this year, Coach Carlos. You know that?
Right.
Well, Coach Sherman, you had an historic run with these kids that graduated last year. Isaiah, I think he went to 3 state tournaments. Kai, I'm gonna forget some of these kids' names, but you've had an historic run with these kids. But that's the thing. Every once in a while, you got to reshuffle, and you got to play a new hand. What do you think? Are you excited? A chance to kind of start from scratch and kind of build a new personality with a new bunch of kids?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we do this. It's fun. Like I said, we talk about being public schools is, you don't know what you're going to get. You got to be able to work with it and see how it goes. Kids graduate, and it's not a surprise when it happens. So you hope that you're prepared as possible when it happens. Just talking about the guys that left, obviously they were very good, like you said, had a very good run of it for their 4 years. I mean, if it wasn't for their freshman year being a COVID year, they would have been a group that won over 100 games in their 4 years in high school. So they end up winning 89, being in 3 straight Final Fours, 2 straight finals. And then all of them are going to school, which is great. 3 of them are going to play. Other ones had opportunities too, but decided that they just wanted to be students and go enjoy themselves. So, we have a guy at Tech, guy at Mason. Ryan is going to Tech, I'm pretty sure. Abe is at Mason. Trey Penix is at Old Dominion. I just talked to all these guys on the phone the other day because they're all getting moved in, so gave them a call. Makai Dillard was going to go to Coastal Carolina. He got in there and got into Old Dominion and Syracuse, but he just decided he's going to hang back and try to make some more money first before he heads off. So he's going to take some classes at Nova, which, there's no issue with that. That makes a lot of sense to me nowadays for sure. Tay is going to leave this week coming up. He's going to leave, I think, on Tuesday, head up to Harvard. So obviously that's going to be a situation stop. Okay. And then you have Isaiah, who just got down to the prep school for himself a couple of days ago, and he's already making a big impression down there. Got a couple messages from coaches there, and he said he ran a 5:50 mile like on the first day down there. And then the head coach texts how much of a leader he is and how hard he's working. So he's already setting a good tone down there. Desmond left about a week ago to go to the University of Lynchburg, so he's going to play there. So, we've been fortunate enough the last few years to put at least 3 of our guys in our classes into college to go play, and then the rest of them are all going to college in some sort of capacity. So that's always what it's about. And then as far as this team coming up, I mean, we played in the Capital Hoop Summer League again. I look at this team a lot like I looked at Isaiah and those guys from their sophomore year, that they're very talented. They don't really know what they're supposed to be doing as far as consistency goes right now, but at least they're really good, so you can start with that. Isaiah's group obviously jumped off the page a lot quicker than I thought they would, so hopefully we can get this group to the same sort of thing. It's going to look a little different because we got a lot of guys between 6'2" and 6'5", and just a long, lengthy athletes, but I like the group. We got a good group of juniors. We're only going to have 3 seniors, and we'll probably have 5 or 6 sophomores that are going to be on varsity. So, I'm looking forward to being at the best fall league there is out there at Wakefield. Getting after that and getting that competition there, and seeing what these guys can do as far as growing into the season when it gets to that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach. Can't wait to go out to. I always love making a trip to Nokesville. It's always a great environment out there. Well, Coach Houston, you had a great season last year. Coach Poindexter always tells me your teams are always the toughest out in the off season, in the postseason. You guys played some great ball. Probably unfortunate, or you could have advanced even further in the postseason. But anyway, what about those your seniors from last year? And how'd your summer go? And how's it look for this year?
Appreciate it. So first, I connect with Coach Bentley on the fact that my summer personally, I spent some time with my family on purpose and had a good time there. So I definitely tried to make sure that I took a time out from all the stuff that we do from the spring and VHSL Live and all that stuff. So we did all that. Last year I had a number of seniors, and I had different guys go off to play a couple of different sports, football guy at Hampton-Sydney, wide receiver there right now, Mason Hopper. I got a baseball guy at Ball State, John Colligan, and then I got my basketball guy, getting him at College of Southern Maryland, BJ Nkrumah. So and then all the other guys, with 7 seniors, the other guys are all going off to play in school. We certainly had 5 guys returning, and we're really looking forward to those guys returning. And things happen in the off season, and a couple of our younger guys decided to go, to a different school. So it happened at a time, I guess, in May maybe May or so. We played maybe one summer league game. So we pretty much had the entire VHSL Live plus team camp, plus we played in the Hammer Zone summer league, with the guys that we pretty much feel that we're going to have coming back this coming season. So we, won about 17, 18 games, with those guys. We played, I thought we had, played good competition. Went down to Randolph-Macon and played in their team camp. Played some good comp down there, a couple of Charlottesville teams and Richmond teams, and a couple of private schools out of Richmond down there as well. I got 3 returners that are, really impact players. The football quarterback, Dominic Sanchez, is a 3-year varsity guy for me. Grown about 6'3" now. One of our heartbeats, Michael Forey, was a starter on our team last year. He's a rising senior. Just a dog out there, honestly. And then my big man, grew a couple of inches over summer. So I mean, he's pushing 6'9" now, and has gotten a lot of all the D3s and a lot of D2s and in the area now. So he works really hard. Liam Kelch, he had a great postseason. I thought he had a really good game in the regional championship game. He's come so. He's a big factor for what we do. I think we play well around him. The kids play really, really hard. We had a meeting about, what are we going to do? And the kids said, over the last few years, we've had people that left before, and, we grinded out the next year, and we put ourselves in position where we're at a place late in the year in February, to win a district championship or go to states. So, we think we're in the same position this year. I like where we are. Majority of my guys play football. So, this fall league, it'll be a lot of guys that are going to be, getting extra minutes. So it's pretty cool for us.
Yeah, Coach, do you like when your players play football? Is that a positive for your basketball program, or can it be a little bit of a distraction, or both?
I mean, it obviously depends on the guy. Sometimes in the position they play, I don't like the guy that plays football on the sideline. I don't like that guy that goes and just, he's got the helmet, sits on the sideline and doesn't do the stuff. But I mean, I think we play pretty physical anyway. Like that's the goal of how we want to be. And so naturally, when those football guys come and are added to our practice, if they have a good deep postseason run, Kevin was, over at Westfield. So a lot of those guys, you got those guys like in December darn near. And it kind of naturally, they just want to run into somebody, they just naturally mess up practice a little bit physically, but it's always not really messed up. I think it raises it up, and it's a competition and toughness. So I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with it. Early in my career, I didn't know, how to handle it, but I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. I shouldn't start something, but I'm reminded when you say physical play, I posted that game-winning shot against Fairfax on Facebook, and they argued about that play for like a month, whether that should have been a push off or not. And I didn't even notice that whether it happened, because as a referee, the last 10 seconds of the game, everything happens so fast. You're not gonna reach for things that you don't have to call, even though it may have been a foul. I don't know, but I remember I put that on the Facebook, and I regretted it because we argued about that play for a month, and it got very personal. But I don't even want you to comment on. I don't want to start something. So guys, when we look around the region in the area, including Prince William, did you guys see any other teams that we can heap pressure on? I know, obviously, Coach Craig should probably go undefeated this year.
No, Mike Desmond, South Lakes, defending state champions with a high major Division I player, is the favorite. I don't care what anybody says.
So obviously, the South Lakes they lost their guard to he's going over to Maryland to play. Help me, guys. Where's he going to Maryland?
Zion.
Yeah, so their team's going to be a little bit different this year, but
they still got Jordan.
What's that?
Right, exactly.
They still have Jordan.
They still have Jordan.
And the New Zealand kid will play more, and he was better than the other kid they had last year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He looked good. Like in the John Marshall game, he looked real good at that Virginia Live thing that we had.
Sure did.
Yeah. In a more increased role. I actually like he barely played last year, so getting this chance to see him play and do a little bit more things with the basketball.
Especially since he can play off of Jordan too. So I think that they're right back to where they are. They just don't have the depth that they had.
Yeah.
But that is.
I mean, you can have too many players. Like last year,
yeah.
He had so many players he couldn't even play these guys. And then that one kid named Toshi ended up being a key player for him late. And
no, he's going to be back too.
Yeah, he never even got off the bench.
Forest Park is another team. They got their point guard back that was out last season, and they still got the big kid that committed to Liberty for football. I mean, I think that, obviously them getting the wing kid last year was exciting, but honestly, I think them not having the point guard with that might have made them worse. Now they got a kid that can kind of set the table for that big kid that'll help them out.
Did you say Forest Park, Coach?
Forest Park. Potomac got a couple of transfers, so they got a couple of good guards. They lost a really good one to Bullis, so that is unfortunate. But I mean, unfortunate for them, I don't care. I didn't really see anybody else like that in our area, but Woodbridge got a new coach. I think he'll do a good job.
Coach Carlos said something good about Jackson Davis from Centerville, the Centerville guard. He's still at Centerville.
Actually, I like that kid. That kid can hoop.
That kid can play. Yeah, he's a senior.
I don't know how good their team is, but he's really good.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player.
And they got a kid that can shoot. I don't know his name. I don't know nothing about Centerville since
his
Kevin
name
left.
is Jack. I don't know his last name. His first name was Jack. He can shoot it though.
Yeah. After Kevin left, I stopped paying attention to Centerville.
My guy Gordon's over there now as the head coach. My assistant coach.
He is. Good people. He's good people.
Yeah.
I don't know why y'all sitting over here letting Kevin be all quiet. Kevin is loaded. I'm just telling you. And y'all know
listen,
Kevin
we
is
all know
quiet.
it. We all know it. Ain't nobody
I'm
saying
about to
it.
get to it.
But we all know it. Like Kevin try to be slick. Oh yeah, like we know.
Yeah,
Kevin is loaded.
I had another coach in the region tell me, two other coaches in the region told me they think Kevin has the most talent out of anybody.
Not even close.
Yeah, the most talented team, 1 through 10, out of anybody in the area.
What you got to say for yourself, Kevin? Everyone's putting pressure on you now.
No, man. We just working who's in the gym. 1 through 10 is wild, though. 1 through 10 is really wild.
That's an aggressive statement. I ain't gonna lie.
I can only think of 5 or 6 right now.
Hey, listen, I'm just telling you what I was told. I don't know.
It was probably Desmond. That's probably who it was.
That sounds about right.
I can't confirm or deny any source.
Right, I already know it was Desmond.
That sounds like a Mike Desmond thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen, once we get up to the Wakefield Fall League, that's when we really get a chance to see some of these guys, at least the ones that don't play football. But, just on the outside, I mean, I know a couple, like Isaiah Skin transferred into Edison, Tony Skin's son.
He's at Edison.
Yeah, he's at Edison.
Yeah, he's really good too.
I got a kid, Mark Stafford is my boy that I went to high school with.
Yeah.
His son transferred from St. Stephen's to Langley. He's a rising junior. He's going to be good, really good for them. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I saw. Now that's it. But I don't, as far as teams, I really don't know outside of Kevin and Doug. They to me, they got the top two teams. And then
Lakes.
South County will be good.
Yeah,
They got a
South
lot
South
of
County
It'll
will
be
be good.
good. South County will be good too. I saw them.
They have a lot of guys back, a lot of experience. They also got a kid who transferred in from some private school, Clinton Grace or Grace Brethren or Rock. I don't know. One of those private
Clinton
schools.
Grace. Yeah.
Clint Grace, yeah.
And then somebody else. I feel like it was someone else in the
Marshall got a couple transfers.
Marshall got
guards.
just like how
Yeah.
I don't know which big is better, but the Marshall big and Houston big, they both really, really good. I think they're on the same AE team, right?
Anderson Crisco, yeah.
Anderson Crisco,
He's more of a defensive guy. I feel like Coach Houston's player Liam's got a little more offensive game, I think. Anderson's more of a defensive guy. Liam's bigger. Anderson's about 6'5", 6'6". Liam's 6'8", 6'9" now. Coach Houston's sitting over there. He leaves out. He had an undefeated JV team last year that was 16-0.
Yeah.
So it's not like the cupboard's bare down there at West
He
Potomac.
wants us to feel sorry. He wants us
It
to feel
never
sorry for
is.
him.
But no, Marshall got two
That's
transfers. They got a guard from Langley, who's a sophomore, who's a really nice player, and they also got a kid who moved in from Indiana. Very athletic guard, can really get after it. And I feel like Coach Lynn, that they're always pretty well coached and pretty well drilled. So nobody should sleep on them either. And he tells me that he still thinks Yorktown's going to be very good as well, even though they lost the Maria kid. That they still have some guys there that are good players.
Yeah, Ben's back, or Jake's back. Jake Cullum's back, and they have Jackson Barbieri. He's played a lot for them. Hey guys, a couple of you guys have mentioned the live period. This was the second year of it. Is it working out well? I saw Coach Carlos over there, and I saw Coach Craig over there. Are the live periods? Is it everything that we hoped they would be?
I think it needs to
this year.
I just think
Always
that
disappointed on my schedule, honestly.
so that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think that they need to figure out, and what is going to happen this upcoming year. They just need to figure out the right people to do the scheduling. But they what's his name? Chad Edwards from Spotswood. He's starting a coaches association, and he's getting different people. He's getting different people involved, and it's going to be more coaches involved in the scheduling process of that versus the AD who was trying his best.
I mean, listen, they picked what's called from John Marshall and Steph from Woodside. So they still don't know anything about any teams up here.
That's your boy, sure.
So like I said, I hope it's better. It would be nice if they just matched up teams from down there against teams from up here instead of having us play 3 Northern Virginia teams like that. I thought that was dumb, but I thought at least the schedule didn't change 10 times between the day before the event and when it started. So that's why I thought it was at least better in that regard. Who we played, I wouldn't necessarily say that was great, but the organization was better.
Yeah.
Well, one of your games was poorly planned. We played teams from out of town, but I think the concept of the idea of the second year in, I think it's double amount of teams that was in this year than it was first year.
Yeah.
I think the venue is dope. I mean, I think just in the idea of it getting better and a place where, like, if you're a basketball, fan, like, yeah, you just want to stay there all day. If you're a college coach, like, what that's the spot to be at, and if you're from out of the state, I think it's a good opportunity for all the coaches. It's a one time in the year that we're all in the same place at the same time, because in state meetings and stuff, people aren't there. I think we could probably hash out a number of issues that we probably have some problems with by having some, hotel type, meeting or something. But I like the idea. I think it's just going to keep getting better. I think it's good.
I would like for them all to get together and stop having every single event on the same day.
Yeah. Private school.
That just it splits the coaches, and
I'll say this. It could be the same. It could be the same weekend.
Not the same time.
It's just not even that. Like, the St. James is big enough to host 60 something teams. You know what I mean? They're big enough to host that. Why not just have one big event there? You can still
At the
put
same venue. Yeah.
You can still put the same, you know, the mathlete that everybody that's over there. You can still put them in one
It's
one
done by
location.
state associations though, so like the private schools wouldn't be able to come to us, just that we can't go to the Matha.
Right.
Still
So,
keep it separate, but at least they're still in the same
right. Yeah,
vicinity.
just two separate events in the same venue.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Well, to me, that would make it even better.
Somebody'd have to give up their ego of hosting an event though. So
For sure.
that's not going to happen.
I mean,
just like, speaking of that, just like Severn started their own version of the live period. It's like now everybody's branching off to start their own little things, which is crazy to me.
It's what happens. That's what I said. It's nonsense.
Well, House mentioned if you're a fan of basketball, I went there. I saw Lansdowne play. I forgot they played a tough team. I saw a team from Heritage from Lynchburg play someone that I saw South Lakes against John Marshall. I saw Hayfield against Hopewell. I sat there and watched like 8 great basketball games in a row. I mean, it was an amazing place for a fan just to sit there and I sat there right behind the bench. I mean, there's plenty of room for you to sit. It's comfortable. That's a great environment for fans. I think there wasn't that many fans there. It's a shame because if they would have known about it, it was.
I mean,
awesome.
the bleachers are full.
They were full, but it wasn't like you were uncomfortable. You're right, but it wasn't like you're uncomfortable there. You could see the game real well.
I don't know if we need more people.
It depends on what game. So
Yeah.
the John Marshall South Lakes game was packed in there.
Yeah.
I know when we played Woodside last summer, it was a lot of people in there. You know, it depends on the matchup. Like it's not going to be packed around each floor each time, but you know, I think that there's a lot of people there. It's a lot of coaches that were there. Obviously, the later games are good to watch and see the faces that were there. I mean, you know, Bill Courtney's one of the guys that was up there. It's always good to see him. So, you know.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, guys, I wanted to wrap up. I promised you guys I wouldn't keep you that long. Any notable coaching changes in the offseason? And also, I haven't heard of rule changes this year. Every year we talk about rule changes and why they do that. I haven't heard of anything this year so far. So, how about coaches changes or rule changes?
Rule change. There's no longer the coaches aren't penalized for pregame dunking anymore, so we can still stand up. That's a new one. So.
But the players still get a tech.
The player gets the tech.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That part I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure if it's a player tech, but yeah, we're doing dunk contests now.
Yeah.
That's the only main rule change that I heard. There's another one. I got it sent to me, but it's not that many. Brian Hill's over at Lewis.
He's the head coach of Lewis?
That's I mean, if there's a big move, I mean, that's a big hire, and yeah, they'll be better. They'll be better.
I never knew Brian wanted to coach. I didn't know Brian wanted to coach. Yeah.
Courtney's not coaching the boys at Woodbridge anymore. He's coaching the girls. Kofor. That's a change. He's been there for a while. Their new coach, Aaron. What's Aaron's last name? Jones. Yeah, Aaron's. He was the guy that was supposed to get that Freedom job at first and then turned it down because he got a job with Nike. But now he's going to be coaching at Woodbridge. That's one that's down in this area. There's a new coach at Colgan. I don't know his name.
Oh, Evan or something? I don't know his last name.
Yeah, from Mountain County.
Yeah, there's a new coach there. I want to say that the guy that was there, Jason John, went back down to Stafford. I think he might be at Brook Point.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, other than that, I can't really think of any off the top of my head.
Justice got a new coach too.
I do Potomac School.
Yeah, from Potomac School.
So, the old Potomac School coaches are going to Justice?
The assistant coach.
Wow. Yeah. The
And
head coach of Potomac.
You know, the one hand, left hand buddy, he transferred over there.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right. The old coach at Potomac, the varsity coach, he stepped down last year, right?
Eric. I think his name's Eric.
Yeah. He would
First team all reason.
Yeah.
Tony about to tell you to wrap this up, man. I know you can see his face.
Yeah, okay, my fault, Coach. Well, look, guys, this has been great. Thanks for kicking off the season. I know we have a lot of unanswered questions yet because you guys haven't got your teams together yet. So we'll get together in a month or so and do it again. I really appreciate your time. Anyone else have any parting words or anything to say before
Nah,
we
Julie, hey, Julie, I'm putting you on the spot, man. Last year, Tony told you to come to the fall league games, and you didn't come. You got to make sure you make your way over there this year.
I think
That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
you know what, Coach? I think I did come. And
Did
then
you?
Oh, no way. No way.
Even
I didn't
offered
see
you.
you. If you
I even
came, I
offered
didn't see
you.
you.
I offered you to do interviews with coaches. I got
Sure
30
did.
teams that are there. Offered you full access to anything you want. You never showed up.
I think I did come, Tony. I did, but I can't remember which.
I think you came to
game it
South County for the team camp.
was. Yeah. What's that?
That don't count.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, that's
this year
the
I'll,
only thing I'll say.
I'll definitely do it.
That right there.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah.
It's exciting. It's exciting fall basketball. Interesting enough, a lot of fans are overhyped in the fall, and but for some of them, it's their senior night.
Yeah.
So it's like there's certain games in early September. It's like packed, and people are losing their mind. I think it's funny. I think it's cool, but it's a great opportunity for kids to get better. I use it for my kids to improve. Kids that might not be getting as much time to improve. So I think you'd enjoy it. You'd enjoy it.
I can tell you the game we played against Lowson and when we had to move the school. Like I was like, why are there so many people here?
Oh, at South County.
Had to go to
Yes.
South County. Oh yeah.
It looked like the old school like Rucker joints. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
you couldn't even stepping on people just when you went out of bounds to take the ball out.
Yeah.
Right.
I disagree entirely. I think it's terrible basketball, and I'm so tired of it by the time we roll around to about the first week of October. I'm tired of watching basketball without any practice. I totally disagree, but we'll show up and throw the ball around the gym and maybe make a few shots here and there when we don't turn the ball over.
I was gonna say, Coach Bentley, what is it about Wakefield that it is a great place to watch a basketball game? They did a great job when they designed the gym. Maybe because of the lighting and the way it surrounds the court. Maybe it's the crazy Arlington County kids that always
It might
up to
be-
something. What's
It
that?
might be just location. I mean, more than anything, location. Besides Sherman has to drive an hour to get there, but I appreciate my man always coming and supporting. But yeah, I think it's location and the atmosphere of it with the two courts down and then one up top, and then how I don't really get a chance to enjoy any of the games. I'll find out at the end who won. I'm running around. If you've been there before, I'm running around with walkie-talkies on, making sure that this is happening, this is going on, and making sure all my coaches are well taken care of. So I don't know who won. I get all the score sheets at the end. I send out an email on Sundays, recapping everything that's going on and then sending the next schedule out. But I always try to tell people that it is a varsity fall league. And when I first started this, I used to get so mad that teams would send their JV kids or freshman kids and using our varsity fall league for, go play in Carlos's JV, league, which is what I always try to say. But I will say that there are a lot of teams because now there's, different leagues going on. Say, for instance, I'll take Doug on here. Like Doug does a great job of always at least sending me, 2 to 3 guys that are his varsity guys. If they're playing over in the DeMatha or wherever they're playing at, he always at least sends me a competitive team. I just hate the fact that we got 30 teams. I put it in my email every year. And I'll use Sherman, who's driving 45 to an hour to get to Wakefield and then shows up and playing against somebody's JV team or freshman guys. It's not fair. So with our relationships with everybody, I always try to tell the guys, man, email, text the coach that you're going to play and say, look, such and such, we're not going to have our full guys. So at least those guys, the coaches are on board with what's going on, because it would suck to have you guys ready to play, the top teams and top guys, and then all of a sudden they're big timing people and they're not showing up or whatever it may be. But I think we do a good job of respecting each other, and the guys call each other, text each other to say that, our guys are going to be there, better have your stuff because we're ready. And we've made some good, I think this year the schedule has been, it's some guys got some really good games to select from. So this year's going to be like no other. It's going to be a good league as well too.
Yeah. You got your family working with you on the league? I think your wife worked there.
No, not on that. When I run my Christmas tournament, my daughter,
Oh.
they help run all. It's a fall league. Now it's just the coaches and the Wakefield basketball players running the clocks and all kinds of things. Everybody's busy on Saturday at Wakefield.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be fun. What do you guys think? What's more important for your program, fall league or summer league?
Fall.
Yeah, I would say fall because you're right there getting to it. But now you might miss a couple kids because of football.
With football, right.
You know, that type of deal. But then like to Dave's point, you get those guys that are, your 9th and 10th man. Now they're the 6th and 7th man in fall league. They got that much confidence now, and it helps them when the season starts. So,
yeah.
Summertime, the kids are playing AAU. They're listening to another coach, listening to different principals. And then at least by the fall, you get them back to what you're doing. And so it's a little closer to your season. So possibly maybe fall.
Yeah.
I say fall because everybody's spread thin in the summer because you got some kids doing this, and then some of the better kids, they'll go on big time your summer league to go to the AAU thing. I mean the AAU practice, which is cool. But I feel like in the fall, especially just basketball only guys, like you get your workouts in and then you get to go play on Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it is, you get to go play on that particular day. And 9 times out of 10, if you don't have football guys, you got your main guys, you got your main players there. So that's why I say fall.
I mean, I think both are equally important. We talk about being spread thin. My guys better be at these summer league games. We making these trips, so it's not one of those things. I'm like, it's okay if you miss. Like, all right, you don't want to make it there. Good luck making the team in November. But it is one of those things that I think they both contribute to it. I think I find more about them in the summer when I'm not doing as much with them than I do when I fix the problems in the fall and in the first part of the season. It helps me kind of figure out the direction that this team has to go in before we get into those days where they're in school and you're battling with that and everything else like that. I enjoy the summer for that reason. And like I said, when we come back in the fall, I feel like you're kind of like fine tuning some stuff that you feel like they might need to focus on here or there from an individual standpoint. Then also you're getting to play as a team. But I like the summer because it's like, all right, you think you're something. I'm going to let you show what you think you are, and then we're going to try and figure out what's the best way to help the team in the fall.
Yeah. Sherman, you think anyone could beat Riverside this year?
Riverside, as in like the Division 5 team?
Yeah.
I mean, we got to play them, so I hope
we
do.
can. Yeah. Every time I say something good about them, you always.
I know. No, last year y'all were overblowing it, but this year they got a lot of experience. They got a lot of seniors. They're probably going to be one of the favorites in Division 5. So they'll be a good team. And like you said, I think they're going to come to us. He was asking if they could play. I feel like that's one of the people that's like, all right, we're going to try to catch them now when we think they're on the downside. So I hope we disappoint him in his quest in that. But at the same time, I think that they're a team in Division 5 that's going to be pretty good this season. Well, last year y'all were hyping them before they were ready to be hyped.
Well, when you see them, I mean, they're so impressive visually. And then you watch them play, you're like, oh, okay. Coach Sherman was right.
That's our first Riverside's our first scrimmage.
Oh, is that right? Is it up here, Coach?
We go out to their place.
Oh, make sure you give me a text before you get out here.
It's near you. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, right down the street. Yeah.
ASAP too. So,
all right, guys. Well, look, man. Thanks. Sorry to keep you guys so late. I got a late start, Sherman.
Hey, listen, I had to take my son to the movies his birthday this weekend. I wasn't going to mess that one up.
How's the football going? Is he progressing?
He's going pretty good. He got his first real live scrimmage on Saturday over the holiday. So, the thing about football with little kids, they figure out real quickly that it's not flag and that it hurts at times. So it's them getting used to it. My son was talking about, he said, I don't know how I feel about getting hit. I said, no one likes getting hit unless they're insane. So you just get used to it.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt as much in the game for some reason. You get used to it.
Some people say that.
Yeah. I hate his summer two-a-days, that's for sure. But yeah. All right, guys. Look, I really enjoyed it. I appreciate your time as always. Coach Bentley, I'll see you at the fall league.
September 7th.
Okay, guys. Appreciate you guys. All right. We'll see you
All right,
soon.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Have a
All
good
right,
one,
man.
everyone.